In one of our first programmes this year, we're going to include a very famous piece of British music, the Enigma Variations by Elgar, Edward Elgar. This work is, of course, very justly celebrated. It's very beautiful, it's full of character, and it is extremely melodious. The idea of writing a secret work very much appealed to Elgar. He had a sense of humour that loved word games and puns and anagrams, and there are plenty of those hidden in this piece. Indeed, the real, true, deeper meaning of the piece remains hidden. He said he would die without telling anybody, but he was surprised that nobody had understood it. And it may be that we just have to make up our own minds and make our own choices about what that hidden, unspoken theme that he mentioned is. The enigma, indeed. But what's clear about the piece, from what he said later on, is that it sprung from a sense of the solitary nature of being a composer, being a creator indeed, and that the melody with which it opens, which is so familiar and so sad, so melancholy, was something that came to him in that mood, and he retained it, and he retained that sense of isolation as a writer, because he wrote another work that is really, again, about that quality. One of his most beautiful works, the setting of the poem The Music Makers, for chorus and soloist and orchestra, in which he talks about how solitary and how alone a creator needs to be removed a bit from his contemporaries, his peers, in order to say something original and make his mark, as it were. And the subtitle of the Enigma is Variations on an Original Theme. And this theme has two parts to it. It has this melancholy at the opening, and it has a second part which is altogether more positive in colour, still wistful, but different from the opening. One of the extraordinary things about this work is that it was the first major work written for orchestra alone that Elgar wrote, and it became, as a result, his first great success, the moment indeed in which he established that England had found a truly original voice. The Enigma Variations is a masterpiece. It shows incredible command of the orchestra, and he uses the orchestra in a very skillful and original way. There are many passages that involve just a few instruments. It's rather lightly scored. The whole thing has been done with a light touch. His skill in portraying an atmosphere in a few notes is absolutely evident from variation to variation, as he goes from one friend hidden in the music to the next one. His ability to change the atmosphere and create a new character, a new atmosphere, is brilliant. However familiar it is, its originality is enormous. Which means that for an orchestra to play it, it's very rewarding, because everybody has something interesting, characterful, demanding to play. It's a wonderful work to perform and to rehearse. It's very hard still, it's always demanding, but it's something that's deeply inside us. It's part of us. And one of the reasons why we must go on and on rehearsing and performing these great pieces, and there are many, is that as the new generation of players join the orchestra, they must be taught these works. They must gain in experience, in understanding how they go, what the challenges are, and how they must solve them. And from there, the newly changed orchestra then will perform for a new audience. And I hope that when we play it in September, there will be plenty of people who've never heard it before.